Hey, Tim Sykes here. It is the weekend. I hope you're having a good weekend. But I want you to be prepared for the coming week because we have so many freaking hot stocks. They are up so much in the past few days. They move so quickly. You need to be prepared ahead of time. There's no other way to say it. This is a 10-day chart of HMNY from the 2s to the 13s. Okay, this was at my Orlando conference where I was a little long biased. I didn't buy it. I probably should have, but I was long biased because they announced 400,000 paying monthly customers for their wannabe Netflix in real life business model. Now, will it work? I don't know. But when you have a real business, that is a good sign, especially for a low price stock like this. And it overwhelmed all the negative financing and the sketchiness that this stock has. So I underestimated it. But I was on the right side. And a lot of you guys really need to get on the right side because I know too many of you that just like to short sell any single stock that is up a ton. And you just like to say, hey, we should never buy penny stocks. We should never buy anything. And that is wrong. That is dead wrong, especially in this bull market. And if you have any questions about what these stocks can do, please watch this guide. It is called How to Make Millions. If you go to howtomakemillions.com, here's the URL. It's all for charity. Howtomakemillions.com. We've now raised literally roughly $3 million with this one DVD. It is 35 hours long, and it basically talks all about how to find stocks like this, how to trade stocks like this. If you have not watched it, you don't understand this pattern. Okay, that is very clear to me because so many of you are like, I've never seen anything like this. It can't happen. Yes, it can. And this isn't the first time. This isn't the last time. It's only a question, are you going to be prepared or not? On Friday, I was prepared on IZEA. Those of you who watched my pre-market video lesson that I released to subscribers only, guess what? I said, even though this stock on Thursday was, kind of fading volume and it looked like it was kind of going to fall off a cliff, it hadn't. And on Friday, if you know that Fridays are the number one day for short squeezes, the number one day for the most speculative morning spikes, that's exactly what we got. And, I didn't time it perfectly. I made a little over 1,000, but I nailed the buy in the mid sixes. Did not hold for the mid sevens. I was actually traveling too. So that was kind of interesting. But Fridays can create short squeezes. And my second trade, I actually nailed this one, making nearly 2 grand on SRAX on the late day spike. It actually went all the way up to the 280s after hours. I was buying it in here when it was kind of coiling at 215. This was the first green day after, 3 red days of consolidation. I did not expect it to get back to its highs and let alone make new highs. I underestimated this one too. But it's okay to underestimate because on both of these, I took solid profits. And that's what I want you guys to really get used to. Taking the meat of the move, taking singles, it's okay if the stock goes further. I'm very happy by making roughly 3 grand on Friday alone. I'm very proud of my student Roland, who made 14 grand on Friday alone. I mean, he's trading a whole bunch of stocks. His big win was ROKU, which was a recent IPO, which just kept going. And Roland was buying, the nice breakout here. I mean, 18 to 28 in one day. Again, there's a whole bunch of people out there who say, don't trade these speculative stocks, don't trade IPOs, and they're just missing out on opportunity. There is so much opportunity. So, IZEA, nice Friday short squeeze. Still not sure, how much more it can go, but the fact that it, consolidated for 3 days, even on fading volume, and now is looking like it can retest or maybe even break to new highs. They have a press event on Monday, tomorrow. So that is going to be make or break. My guess is, if you had to, guess right now, again, I have no position, so it doesn't matter. But if you put a gun to my head and say, which way is it going to go? I would say down because it's up from the 2s to the 7s. This is not a good company. They have the press event. There's a very common pattern called buy the rumor, sell the news. This is in my Spikeability DVD. There are so many examples in the past where a company spikes in anticipation of news, and then when the news actually comes out, it's usually a letdown. In IZEA, has been a letdown pretty much all its life as a company. And until now, it's never really held its spikes. So my guess is that it will be a letdown and this will be a great potential short. But they might try to sneak in some positivity. They might try to squeeze some short sellers before the inevitable crash. So, it's not out of the realm of possibilities that this thing can go to the eights or the nines or the tens before it eventually crashes. Later this week, this coming week, IZEA will drop 40, 50%. Um, HMNY will drop, I don't know how much, but it'll probably drop 30, 20, 30%. ITUS did the same kind of thing already, and this one has come down. Went from the ones. Remember, during my Orlando conference, I actually did buy this right here in the 130s. I didn't know it was going to go to the 530s, okay? It took a while. This is a 10-day chart. But this one has crashed 50%. So IZEA for me is a potential short, but I don't know where the exact top is yet. We'll have to wait and see what the press says, and we'll have to see what the reaction is. Right when the press release comes out, I wouldn't be surprised to see a 50 cent to $1 a share drop. HMNY, you have this nice last short squeeze from the 7s to the 13s. I mean, I know several chat rooms where the entire chat room is short because they just short stocks and they short big. And the higher it goes, the more they short. And it's the dumbest, most flawed strategy. And frankly, this is why so many short sellers blow up. If you short sell in the wrong way and you don't respect the risks, you will blow up. So no different than if you're driving my Ferrari 200 miles an hour in a 35 mile an hour zone. Guess what? You're not just driving a Ferrari, you're driving a Ferrari recklessly. So if you're trading these stocks and you're trying to short and you're trying to predict the top, that's very reckless. And I don't want you to do that. That's why I'm talking about this. This will drop eventually. I have no doubt of that. But as long as it's making new highs, as long as it's sucking in new shorts, fantastic. I don't know when they're going to put out another press release. They might have, 500,000 or 600,000 or a million paying customers per month soon. So who knows? You just have to be careful trying to predict the top on these things. And that's frankly why I bought SRAX here. A lot of people say, hey, Tim, how did you know that it was going to be a big squeeze? I didn't. Okay, it was the first green day. I thought that it could just get to the 230s or 240s, and I thought that it would have resistance in here at 245, which acted as resistance here. I had no idea it was going to go to 280 all of a sudden. But they put out a press release saying that they have an upcoming Analyst Day on October 17th. So now this is an upcoming news play, and this thing can freaking move. So, I'd be scared to short this stock on a Friday. I don't know how far it can go. I mean, you can see here in the long term, these stocks are all dead, okay? These are not good companies. But at the same time, you have to respect this kind of sector hype and this pattern. That's what it comes down to. So props to Roland for banking. I think he banked on SRAX too. He has another account. He has multiple accounts. But I got to give props to so many of you guys. AMMA. I haven't even talked about that. There's too many plays. It's overwhelming. This one was a great runner from $1.20 up to $3, and now it's a nice, 30% drop. Lee Smith nailed that. Here's some of Roland's profits. Oh, NETE. Ay, ay, ay. Too many plays. NETE has been spiking up, 30 cents to $1. I mean, just show this video. Show these charts to people who hate on penny stocks and say you should never buy them because they're just missing out. Roland's dad is a value investor, and at least, Roland's dad, or maybe it's his father-in-law, somebody in his family is a value investor, and they were going back and forth about trading. Roland, by the way, has now turned, let me show you his profit chart. Let's see, Roland Wolf. And his middle name really is Roland Wolf, which is kind of crazy. Is that his username? Yeah, Roland Wolf. So he's uploaded 262,000 in profits, but he's up. I think he's got a few more trades to upload. He's up to over 270,000. And mind you, he started in 2017 with hardly anything, and it's all been happening in the past few months. And he's not right 100% of the time. Some of you guys are like, oh, he knows everything. He's right 65% of the time. He simply follows my rule number 1 where he cuts his losses quickly. So props to Roland. And by the way, he is studying 17 hours per day. I should post that video again that I filmed of him at the Orlando conference. And I was like, how much do you study, dude? And, he's like, well, I sleep about 4 hours a night and I spend about 3 hours with my family. So 24 minus 7, yeah, 17. I mean, that's what it takes, okay? If you want to turn a few $1,000s into 6 or 7 figures, my newest millionaire student, Stephen Ducks, same kind of thing. They're always studying charts and they're always back testing and they're looking at different patterns. And both of them, love this guide, this How to Make Millions guide. So I'm so thankful that so many of you guys are watching this because it shows off all these charts. These patterns are the exact same freaking things. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Leave a comment if you understand this. Leave a comment saying, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. It's from the movie Zoolander, but that's really what this is because these patterns keep coming about and you can't like trade them perfectly, like no two patterns are exactly alike, but you have a better idea of how far they can go once they start happening. And HMNY, I had no idea when I was long bias, in the threes that it could go to the 12s. But I have had an idea that, when you have this kind of news and this kind of volume and this kind of price action, that it can go further than most people think. That's the big thing here. Too many people think, oh, it's going from 3 up to 9. And then you have the first red day here and they're like, it has to drop, it has to. It doesn't have to do shit, guys. Okay? It can do whatever it wants. And I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when I see these patterns again and again and again. And if, again, you understand what I'm saying, leave a comment underneath this video saying, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. And it's a good thing if you understand that. It's a good thing to see this repetition. I know I repeat myself a lot, but I repeat myself so that you can see the repetition, so that you can see, oh, wait a minute, there's a little rhyme and reason to this. This isn't all random. Anyways, props to Roland. So many people to congratulate. Here's a few more. Roland. You can follow him, Roland Wolf 86 on Twitter. Sniper Trades, ITUS. These were just the past few days. I'm sorry, I'm falling behind. I can't keep up. But look at this. Some of you guys have a small account, and you're like, oh, I can't do anything with a small account. Look at this guy. Okay, 700 shares of ITUS at 293. Let's just do the math here, real quick. 14,000. That was Roland's profit, by the way, on Friday. I made roughly $3,000. 293 times 700 shares. $2,000 investment here, okay? And he sold literally the next day. This was 9/25 and 9/26, September 25th and September 26th, okay? And this is one day, so you're not even using the pattern day trader rule, and profit of what, like 720 bucks on a $2,000 investment. So those of you with small accounts, guess what? It can work for you. Here's Sal, IZEA in at 655, out at 7, made 200 bucks. That's a good job. And I met Sal at the Orlando conference. He's a tiny little guy, but it was a funny picture. Hey, let me see if, I think he tweeted the picture of us. You see me crouching down. Oh, that's actually a good picture. Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe I did crouch down. Anyway, Sal's a good guy. He's been studying hard. Here's Roland's screenshot. I love it. So he's trading a bunch of different stuff. Steven Johnson, I got to give him props. I've ripped on him enough, but he had his first profitable month. Just a few $100, but, it's a good turnaround. And AVGR, oh my God, this was another play. This one spiked up, and Steven Johnson has been shorting that one. Jonathan, AVGR, made 10% on the long side. Eden made over another 1,000 on IMNP and ITUS. Stevie made 187. Where were the other people? Sorry, I had all these tweets planned. Gabe in AMMA at $2 with 550 shares. Mind you, look at this. I just want to be crystal clear here. 550 shares times $2 a share. So he put in 1,100 bucks, and he has an $800 profit. Okay, that is freaking awesome. Then also you can see also, he did sell. Good. I'm glad he sold because that stock crashed. But ITUS, look at this. He's buying 300 shares at 344, and he's selling it the next day at 455. This is why I say these stocks are so great for small accounts, okay? This was a day trade, but this was an overnight trade, and you're making 30% on your money. Let's just do the math, because some of you guys with small accounts don't believe that it's possible. 344 times 300. So he puts in 1,032. Then he sells it the next morning right at the open. Good job. Um, let's see. 1365. So 1365 minus 1,032. Here's how you make $333 before commission. So let's call it $300 after commission. Some of you guys also say, oh, I have such a small account, the commissions eat you up. It doesn't eat you up if you pick your trades carefully and you focus on volatile plays like ITUS and AMMA. And both of these stocks crash, by the way. So you can go long and you can go short on those. Caesar, you get a follow for this. I like this. HMNY, he's in at 1088. He's out for $1. He says, I don't know if it goes higher, but I took my profit. Videos are helping. Good, Caesar. Take those singles. It's okay to make $1 a share. It's okay to miss out on an extra $1 a share that you could have made. You're trying to learn the game. You're trying to get more comfortable. Brian, I give you a follow because I like this. IZEA in at 595, out at 714. And he says, thank you for all the educational lessons. Christina, we need more female traders, so props to you. And you shorted ITUS from 430, covered at 350. Too early, but didn't want to risk a bounce. That is not too early, Christina. You made your 20%, so props to you. Look at Christina's pictures. I don't know which one is Christina, but that's cool. All right, let's see here. Is it the same? That's her. And her boyfriend or friend is a shark. Anyways, that's awesome. Here's Dan earlier this week on AMMA, perfect symmetrical triangle, and he had the nice breakout. Dan made another 23% on HMNY and SRAX. I mean, he made 18%. He actually held a little better. So I was in right around the same price as Dan, but I got out in the 240s, and I was happy. You know, I was very happy on a Friday afternoon, and he got out at 254, and now after hours he got up to the 280s. So you're basically looking for these runners, and you're trying to hold, you know, as long as possible, especially on a Friday afternoon when, you know, they have some momentum. Here's Ed. I got to give props to Ed because he's been a student for a while, and, you know, here he was on September 29th. Two different accounts, and he made 793 in one and 430 in the other. And this was a tweet earlier that week, and he made another 1200. So this was on September 29th. Okay, you can see here the timestamp. And then this was earlier in the week on September 26th. So he had two $1,200 days. $2,400 a week is pretty freaking good. So, excuse me. Both of these, you know, all of these are just staggering right now. And maybe when you're just beginning, it looks a little random, but trust me, please watch this guide. I'm begging you. It all goes to charity. You can hate me. You can say, oh, Tim just wants to make money. I don't make a dime off this guide. It took me literally 6 months, and I'm actually working on a few new DVDs, which also all will go to charity. They'll be finished in the next few weeks. I'm sorry for the delay, but please watch this guide. If you already have it, review it. You know, this shows this kind of volatility, and you can see how stocks like HMNY, IZEA, SRAX, ITUS, AMMA, NETE, IMNP, AVGR, you know, all of these plays have enough volatility where they start to fit certain patterns. And, you know, you can go long, you can go short, you can go long, and you can go short. You can trade intraday, you can hold overnight. It's totally up to you. There are so many different angles off which you can profit. And I made roughly $5,000 last week. I missed so many angles. You know, I'm trading from the other side of the world. I'm traveling all over the place. I'm busy, but I'm still finding my angles. And on a Friday afternoon, SRAX was beautiful. This probably can keep going. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see SRAX in the threes on Monday. But again, this coming week, you know, with all these big movers already, I'm going to start getting a little more short biased. I hope IZEA puts out a good press release. I hope it goes as high as possible. You know, as a short seller, I want these stocks to go up as much as it can because then that'll give it more downside eventually. So just be careful this late in the pattern. We've had a lot of hot stocks. And if you miss them, maybe you're like, oh, I missed all this. Now it's my time. Don't think that way, okay? Be safe. All of these stocks probably will crash 20, 30, 50% in the coming days. So beware of that. Don't just hold and hope. But when you see new momentum forming, like on plays like SRAX, don't be afraid to try to, take part of that momentum. Um, like I did, with my Friday trades. And this was such a rush trade. I mean, I wish I could show you where I'm trading from these days. Just crazy. But I saw the opportunity on a Friday afternoon. That's my, I guess, go-to time period. I made my first $100,000 day buying a stock on a Friday afternoon and actually holding till Monday. On SRAX, I probably should have held till Monday, but I have a crazy travel schedule getting back to the U.S. This coming week. So I just wanted to de-stress. This is another thing that you guys need to learn. It's not just about making the most money. It's about having strategies and patterns and trading that fit your schedule. Trading does not have to be stressful. You should not be like waking up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night being like, oh my God, I got to trade today. Or like, any of that stuff. Wait for these plays to happen. Wait for the setups that you feel comfortable with. And in the meantime, study, 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 study the past. Let me just show you something. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'll link this Sykes categories underneath this video. We have all these different categories on Profitly, okay? All these different basics, classics, trading mistakes, technology stocks, great trades. You can see 600 videos with morning spikes. You can see 500 plus videos with breakouts. A lot of you guys are asking me, how do you determine your dip buys and your panics? Well, watch these 400 plus video lessons, okay? I mean, between these, there's nearly 1,000 videos specifically on buying dips and panics. And none of this is an exact science, okay? All of this stuff is just me trying to, see these patterns play out again and again and again. So when I correctly nail SRAX on a Friday, this isn't my first Friday trade. As I said, I made my first $100,000 on, when I was a freshman in college on a Friday afternoon runner like this. I wish that SRAX didn't have an analyst day on October 17th. I mean, that's still over 2 weeks away. If it was like October 7th, I probably would have held because then it would have been, closer to the date with the upcoming, hype and stuff like that. So I don't know how this is going to play out over the next 2 weeks in anticipation, but when they announce that and, the stock is consolidated nicely for 3 days and you see that this thing has run up and then you also know what kind of speculative market it is for this kind of sector right now, all of that adds up to a buy on a Friday afternoon. Before it broke the day highs. A lot of you guys are like waiting for these day highs to break out on a Friday. You're waiting for other people to alert you. You can't do that. You need to be self-sufficient. You need to start thinking, wait a minute, Friday afternoon, short squeeze, okay. Upcoming, news hype play, okay. Good volume, okay. This is the right sector that's, really running right now. Okay, so you start adding up all the indicators and you need to formulate this stuff on your own. Like, that's why I'm so proud of students like, well, Ed is great, always, but Dan, Dan, I think he might have bought before me. I don't know, it was right around the same time, but he saw what was happening. He saw that, like, look at this chart. This is a stocks to trade chart, which you all should be using. You can see here that we saw the same signal right in here, okay? We saw this thing getting close to the highs and it was breaking out and it just kept going. So you need to be self-sufficient in this game. And I'm proud of Dan. I'm proud of Ed. I'm proud of Christina. I'm proud of Brian. There's so many more of you, and I apologize if I didn't, call you out. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm just going over a few tweets. Sniper Trades, Sal, Steven Johnson again. Props to him. Even though he just made a few $100s, that's a big, big thing when you're down a few thousand and you start learning the process. And Steven has been studying hard and working hard, so he deserves some props. But Roland, he is the student of the week. now, what? I interviewed him in Italy. It was like July 4th weekend. So this is what? July to August. August is September, September. So 3 months later, right? All of July, all of August, all of September. 3 months. He was passing 133,000. Now he's at 270,000 in 3 months. So he's made 133,000 in the past 3 months. So let's just do this. Hold up. 137 to be exact. 137 divided by 3. So he is making $45,000 per month on average the last 3 months. And it's getting a little crazy. I mean, he made 14,000 on Friday alone. So when you start to think of the possibilities, considering that he started the year with just $4,000, he's not my millionaire student yet, okay? So I don't want you to be like, oh, he's a millionaire. But he is on the right track. And, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a story where I'm messaging back and forth where he's still living humbly. He's paying himself a few $100s to live, but it's still new for him. And I love his attitude. I love his work ethic. And I want more of you guys, with $4,000 or $3,000 or $2,000 to really start grinding the way that he has. And then, it's amazing how quickly it can add up. And I know that it seems impossible. I know that it's like, oh, this only happens to other people. But, Tim Grittani, Michael Good, Mark Crooks, Stephen Ducks, now Roland Wolf. I mean, more and more of my students are on this track. And I'll tell you that while they're all different, they have one thing in common. They all studied their asses off, okay? It is not luck. It is, frankly, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And Roland has been studying 16, 17 hours per day. And I don't want you guys all to burn out, but I want to show you what it actually takes. If you want this, okay? Not everyone wants to put in that effort. No, not everybody can. And I get that. Some of you guys are busy. So do what you can. But I'll tell you that my most successful students are the ones who are studying the most. They're studying the past. They're not trading the most. Some of you guys have it wrong where you're like, Tim, I don't need to study the past. I'm just going to trade and learn in real time. You can trade a lot and you can trade a little, but studying the past helps you catch up because you are all playing a game of catch up where you have missed these patterns for years and decades. And that's why, I have all these video lessons. That's why I have this DVD guide. It's to help you catch up so that you are better prepared for every new trade, for every new pattern, okay? This is what's going on. SRAX was arguably the biggest Friday afternoon runner, and I absolutely nailed it, and I underestimated it, okay? 265, and now it's, got up to the 280s. So I took my 30 cent a share profit. There was another 40 cents a share so far. So don't think that even me, after 2 decades of experience, like I know everything, like I'm perfect. Because, frankly, I'm not. I'm on the right track a lot, but I sometimes sell too quickly. I sometimes cut my losses too quickly. But I want to show you the good and the bad. And, it's kind of cool that my trades are all transparent. So even with my mistakes and my losses, you can see here on the year now, I'm up $175,000. Just $1,000, $2,000, sometimes $3,000 in a day at a time. And sometimes I lose. But it adds up when you're on the right track, when you study. And part of the beauty of me being the teacher is that, I've studied, but I also learn when I make videos like this. Like if I ever get off on my, patterns, if I get undisciplined, if I get away from what has made me successful, I go back and watch videos like this. You don't just have to watch a video lesson once, sometimes you need that reminder to say, wait a minute, these are the patterns I should be trading. Plays like this. I see some of you guys saying, okay, these stocks are moving 200, 300, 4%, 400%, but let me trade a stock that's not budging. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? You have so many good plays right now. And we don't always have these good plays at any one time. So take advantage of them. HMNY, IZEA, SRAX, ITUS, and we'll see whatever else pops up this week. But I'm excited. I got to take this call, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Remember to leave a message underneath this video saying, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills if you recognize these patterns. Thank you.